It is working jolly good. So let's see, check. Yep, that's fine. Right, okie dokie. Oh dear. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. It's been a while, hasn't it? Oh, it does start already. Pardon me. Ah, there we go. Yes, it's been a while. It's I can't remember the last time I was able to do this. About a week or two now or something like that. Yeah. I've been inundated with work. It's been absolutely chaotic, and coming home very, very early in the morning. Well, when I say very early, I mean late by my standards, but still probably early by your standards. But anyway, enough of my gripes. And yes, hello, welcome, and we're back for round 10 of the WRX Challenge, the final. All beautiful, the final round before we put these Subarus to bed for their long-earned rest. And as you can see, we are at Spa. Oh, hang on. What's going on? Oh, there we go. We are at Spa de Francorchamps in the early hours of the morning. Stars are still out, but the sun is starting to peek over the hills, so hopefully we'll get some beautiful night, well, dawn and day action, all beautiful. So, well, the WRX, you should know it by now if you've been following us with this. It's take these cars round 10 different racetracks in very different styles, in sprint formats, in feature formats, and endurance ones. And today is a endurance, so it's a 1 hour long race. And no doubt pit stops will be mandatory, I believe. I shall have a quick look. I don't think there is any tyres that are mandatory, so yep. So what will have happened was they'll have had a 10-minute qualifying round, and with it being an endurance, it's going to be a 1 hour long race, which is going to be fastest first from a standing start. And what a absolutely cracking season we have had. So I'm just going to jump into the drop scores because body is aching for bed at the moment, but I will explain some good news later on, which I'm sure everybody will be pleased with. But after 9 rounds, it would appear that Homesick Alien is going to be our new champion for the WRX Challenge. She's sitting comfortably in first with 331 points. Skyjacker is second, possibly Homesick's only contender, but he's on 267 points. That's a big, big gap between himself and Homesick Alien, so I think it's safe to say that Homesick has won this one. Bonnie is in third on 256 points, or 58, I can't quite read that very well. I think it's 258 actually, so I can't read that one very well. Blame the table man. Yes, I'm looking at you. You know who you are. Clear that up. In fourth, we have Big Dan on 252 points. So is he going to be able to gain on Bunny and snatch that third right at the end? In fifth, we have Koikarp on 220 points. In sixth, we have Guesty on 219 points. Seventh, Farido on 211 points. Eighth is Bazza on 194 points. Anton Poiker, the outgoing champion, he's ninth on 166, but we've not seen him for the past few rounds, so perhaps he's probably given up the ghost on that one. In 10th, we have Scary Rambo on 161 points. maybe he could overtake Anton Poika. That would be something to be shouting out about, wouldn't it? In 11th, we have Mrs. Guesty on 146 points. In 12th, we have Pat on 139 points. 13th, we have Perchon, his first season with us in WRC. He's in 77 points. In 14th, we have Jokers on 48 points. In 15th, we have Thingamajig on 37 points. But he's not turned up recently, so I think he's also given up the ghost. Same with Kind Foot in 16th on 22 points, and Norkis still hasn't scored a point, but I don't think he showed up at all. So, very, very interesting table. It could all turn around at the end, in which I will tell you the final table at the end, which will be the drop score, because that's the more important one. But for now, let's have a look and see how 10 minutes of qualifying and these guys going full sprint has finished up. Look at that, glistening in the headlights and dark sky. And as we can see, going out on pole is our championship leader and possibly the championship winner of Homesick Alien. And in second, we have Guesty doing a pretty good job there. Is he going to be able to take the fight to Homesick Alien today? In third, we have Rido doing that's a pretty good start for him there. In fourth is Koikap, another good starter here at Spa. Is he going to be able to catch up Big Dan at the end of this? It's going to be a tall order, but we will wait and see. In fifth, we have Bazza. Is he going to be able to steal some crucial points at the end of this? Then in sixth, that is Big Dan. And I think it looks like he might be able to get Bunny at the end of it, but we'll have to see when the drop scores kick in. Then in seventh, we have Mrs. Guesty going out with a big bang in there in eighth. And ninth is Pat bringing up the rear. Not had the best of seasons, has Pat. Might be something to do with the teams he's chosen to represent, maybe. I don't know. It could be me leading false information there. I don't know. That's what you need to do, Pat. Unleash, not unleashed. Unleash it. That's what you need to do, my friend. So they're all lined up. Shall we get these guys going? I think we should, and then put to bed a very, very exciting season. So let's back this up. I will refresh. And then let's get them going. So get them lights on and get them going. So here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights. On goes the juice and off they go to a lightning start. It looks like Guesty got a better start on Homesick Alien as they come down to I've forgotten the name of the bloody corners already. This is going off to a commendable start, and it looks like my P60 is already on the way through the door. That's Pat going wide there, but they've all gotten through. Nice and easy. As Guesty's having a look on the inside, swings to the outside. They're nearly going 4 wide, coming up to Lake Combs. Who's going to be the bravest on the brakes? It looks like they're all on the same time. Oh no, that was Rido losing the back end. I think that was Koi going wide as well. Koi, maybe just a small tap of Rido on the back has just upset the car a little bit, but away they go, and Homesick Alien has managed to maintain the lead so far, with Guesty still in second, hunting down Homesick Alien. Really hoping to snatch some big points at the end of this. Rido's still in third, holding quite well. Bazza's now in fourth. Big Dan's moved up to fifth, and he's going to be chasing down his all-time championship rival and mate Bazza as they scream through that corner. And it all seems to be holding off well. That's Pat going wide, going through. Mrs. Guesty's moved up into sixth from the calamities of Koi. And as we can see, Koi and Pat are also going at it now. Easy does it, boys. And there we go. Koi snips through on the outside. Easy as he does it. Maybe Pat's playing the long game, but he is on the mediums. So maybe Pat's thinking of the longer game. really bring it to them later on in the race. But so far, Guesty snipped it up. We can't be that far in front of it. And then we can see they're side by side going through. Still side by side, and Homesick Alien snips through. But here comes Guesty going for the old switcheroo. Easy as you do. And boom, there we go. Guesty now takes the lead, but Homesick Alien is not letting him get away with it easily. As we now come screaming down to the bus stop chicane, and who's going to be the braver brakes than this one? We can see Homesick Alien's just taking the lead at the moment with the inside of the corners, giving him the advantage, but now Guesty's going to have the inside coming up to the bus stop chicane. Is Rito going to have a look at them as well? Homesick Alien has managed to sneak out a tiny little bit of a gap between himself and Guesty, and they all get through easy as you're done. But is Guesty going to come back at him now? He's got a bit of a toe, especially when they go down to Eau Rouge. Here we go. Hold on to your coffees and breakfast. Keep your toast at bay as we're going to have a look. We'll keep an eye on them because we know that these two are going to go absolutely flying at it. Let's have a look in. I bet this is absolutely juicy to look at. There we go. He's having a look. Just comes off the DRS. Goes wide a little bit. Not comfortable with the DRS there. But it looks like he's not going to be able to catch Homesick Alien for the time being. So there we go. Homesick Alien manages to hold off for another lap with Rito still in third. A small mistake from these two, and he's definitely going to make them pay for it. But Big Dan's keeping him company. Again, one small mistake. Big Dan's been done quite well this season, to be fair. I think he's had a handful of podiums. At least I think he has. I'll have a quick look. Where is Big Dan? There he is. Yeah, he's had quite a few podiums. He even had a win. So Big Dan doing quite well. Probably wants to go out with a bang as well, with another podium in the trophy cabinet. That would go lovely with it as well. Mrs. Guesty as well. She's moved up into fifth. Oh dear, I've just noticed that Baz has dropped down to seventh. Maybe a small mistake on the previous lap has seen him drop behind Koikart. And unfortunately, these guys have all left Pat behind. But Baz is on the mediums as well. I'll tell you what, they've all calmed down a little bit. Let's have a look first. So, Homesick Alien is on the softs. Guesty's also on the softs. Rito is also on the softs. Big Dan's also on the softs. Mrs. Guesty's on the softs. Koi's on the softs. So currently, it's only Bazza and Pat that are currently on the medium. So they're thinking of the longer game. Is it going to gain them any advantage coming the end of this race? But as we can see, Homesick Alien is now starting to stretch out that little bit of a lead to Guesty. This is exactly what Homesick Alien needs, but it's safe to say that the WRX trophy is safely going back to the mothership, so I don't think he hasn't got much to lose really, but he still wants to go out in a cracking bang, and realistically that won't be Homesick Alien's style to not go out in a bang like we'd like to see him do. He likes to be fast and furious all the time, even when all the cards are safely in his hands. He still wants to play for it all, but Guesty could spoil the party. Is he going to be able to pull off some master trickery in the pits? Maybe give himself a little bit of a leg up to Homesick Alien. He can also go out with a win, although a podium would be great for him. Maybe he's eyeing up a win today. Meanwhile, Rito is still holding out in third. I think he's had a handful of podiums as well. Yes, I'm sure he's definitely had a podium or two. But as we can see, Big Dan having a look on the outside. Rito making him work hard for it. Saying, if you want my podium, good sir, you're going to have to work for it. So far, we'll keep an eye on these two, because this is probably this is a battle for the last step of the podium. Rito really putting up a good defensive game, making Big Dan having to work hard for it. As you can see, they've stretched out a bit of a gap between themselves and Koi, so Koi's recovered nicely from that first little mistake in the first lap. And oh no, Rito's gone wide. Big Dan is going to take advantage of it, and there we go. Big Dan squeezes through into third, and that's all the invitation he needed to sneak on through. But now, is he able to run away from Rito? I suspect he probably will. Big Dan can really put the hammer down when he needs to. You can see the gap's extended already. Oh, Rito losing the back end there. He's not Not particularly happy in that back end, but Frido's able to bring it back in, just calm it down a little bit, and he should be fine. But he needs to get his composure quickly, because Koikarp is really sniffing blood. Maybe he fancies a crack at the podium today. Definitely fancy fourth for the rate at way Rido is currently going at the moment. Ooh, Koikarp losing the back end a little bit just there. Seems to be a little bit slippery on the outside today, so might want to be avoiding that quite a fair bit. The back end's going to be kicking out. I think I saw Basil just going a little bit too deep there, maybe pushing a little bit too hard. Those mediums really being ranked about, but it still could play to their advantage later on. And Pat's not really lost too much time on them, whatever. Oh, as soon as I said it, he goes way too deep, and that's going to cut it back even more. So the strategy is really going to have to be on its A game if it's going to bring him back into this race. Just giving us all a flash saying, yeah, it's all fine, it's all hunky-dory, no problems here. Meanwhile, at the front, as we can see, Guesty has drawn in Homesick Alien. The sun's starting to now come out. We can see all the beautiful designs on display here. It's going to be a shame to see these Subarus put to bed for the time being, but we can always look forward to what season are we on? Oh, it's 6, isn't it? So yeah, season 7. We can always look forward to season 7 and seeing these guys go absolutely tooth and nail with these super slicky Subarus. As you can see, Guesty's just unable to find any form of weakness in Homesick's defence. We know he can really ring a car to its absolute limit. You've got to be pushing hard to disrupt the alien. As you can see, Guesty's currently going purple, so he's looking for that fastest lap of Homesick Aliens at the moment. But it's still early doors. We're only 8 minutes into this 1 hour race, so we've still got plenty of time. Maybe he can pull off a little sneaky strategy to really disrupt the alien. I think the alien went wide a little bit there, but managed to keep it under composure. As you can see, Guesty's just caught up that little bit, but it's catching up to the alien. Another thing is getting past him. As you can see, he's really on that back end of that Subaru now. He's really sniffing the octane coming out of that exhaust. They're nearly bumper to nose as we go through the tight chicane of the first corner. And so, oh no, that's the last corner, because they did the 24 hours. Here's the start-finish line. So technically, Eau Rouge is the first corner. Or, well, you know that corner. We all know the name, but unfortunately my memory is filled with 80% nonsense and 20% work, so there's no room for any information that's relevant to this. But never mind, that's not what we're here. We're not here to hear me griping about my memory problems. We're here to see these guys race. As we can see, Guesty's really trying to bring it to the alien, but just can't find a way through. Big Dan's still holding off in third. I don't think he is catching. Oh, back end kicking out a little bit there. He is a little bit slower than the guys ahead of him, but it doesn't matter as long as he's quicker than the guys behind him. But he's still being kept honest by Rido. Probably really wants to get that podium back and go out in his own kind of bang with a podium, but Koi's not that far behind him either. He did 1:2:19.8, so he was slightly quicker than Rido. So Rido's really got to be concentrating, keeping an eye on his rear mirrors, because he doesn't want to be letting Koi through. That could slow him down maybe that little bit more, but could also help him out as well if he goes fighting with Big Dan. That could be quite interesting to see if he's able to catch them up. Mrs. Guesty still holding well in 6th. She's not that far off the pace either. She's got quite good pace round Spa in these Subarus, so maybe she's finally found her comfy place with the Subaru, and hopefully we'll see her back in this. She's taken part in quite a few championships. She knows her comfort zone. She knows how to race when definitely not denying that. She can bring it to a race. She even got her first podium in the MTCC. So she's had a taste of the bubbly. She probably wants a little bit more of that. Maybe she could fancy one today. I wonder. It's a bit of a tall order for her, but as we've seen, the impossible can happen. So it might happen today. Bazin maintaining 7th, but don't forget he is on the mediums, so he won't quite have the pace of the guys in front of him and girl. But it could still play out for him, and Pat's really lost that pack at the moment. Maybe he's just fuel saving. He could be saving a little bit fuel. Could bring him back into it. That would be quite interesting to see, wouldn't it? Oh, hang on, they've started a new lap. Okay, I thought this was the start-finish line. That's where they started. Oh, I don't know then. Go figure. Meanwhile, going back to the lead, as you can see, Homesick Alien has got out a bit of a gap now between himself and Guesty. Is the tyres now starting to become a factor? Well, Guesty has used his tyres a little bit more than Homesick Alien. He's about even on fuel. It's literally a small smidget of fuel that Guesty has used more than Homesick Alien. So at the moment, Homesick Alien holding the strategy advantage at the moment, but there's no telling what could happen. Still got a long way to go in this race, and let's have a look. That's Reno moving up into 3rd. Let us have a look. Oh god, I pressed the wrong one, haven't I? I have. Whoopsie doodle. Right. Oh dear. Now I have lost it. Oh, that's Coy. Ah, there we go. Right, I know where we are now. I know where we are. So, Coy managed to catch up Reno. There's quite a gap between himself and Big Dan. What? Was it a mistake from Big Dan, maybe? We'll have to keep an eye on it at the moment. We'll fast forward it a little bit more. Seems okay so far. So, back in kicking out. Was that an issue? Oh, I'm not 100% sure, but we'll stick with it for now. There's... Hang on a sec. No, we've seen this. Right, let's skip this forward. I'm sure it was about there. Yeah, that seems round about right, because there's Reno. There we go. Now we're on track. Now we're on track. This is where we were before silly Git here pressed the wrong buttons. Wow, it's quite a far way back, wasn't it? So there we go. Right, now we know where we are. There we go. He's coming down the main straight, coming up to Lake Cons. That's the one corner I do remember. You see Guesty's just going in for a toe, and no, Reno going in for a toe, and then splits out, pulls the trigger, and boom, there we go. Reno slips through back into 3rd place. And it might have been a small mistake from Big Dan. As we can see, he was 2 seconds slower in the previous lap. That's probably what did it for him. So Reno now moves up into 3rd, but he's not quite shaking off Big Dan just yet. So Reno will still have to keep up that fighting form, but he's got to go defensive now against that rich energy Subaru of Big Dan. It's all a question of who's going to be bravest to pull the trigger. Not quite having a look just yet. He's still tight behind Reno. One small mistake from either of these two is going to cost them dearly. He had a look around the outside, but Reno shut the door. Says, not today, sir. Try again later on. Big Dan really pushing that Subaru, looking for a small gap that he can get his way through Reno, but Reno putting up the absolute solid defence. And here we go, we're coming down. Another long straight. Oh, Big Dan's gone wide. He won't find a grip out there. Where's Coy? Is he going to take advantage of it? I don't think he can. Oh no, there we go. So Big Dan rejoins, but that small off has cost him big time. And Reno can breathe a sigh of relief as he's now been relieved of the pressure from Big Dan. So Reno maintaining a podium for the time being, but how long is he going to be able to keep that up? He has used his tyres a fair amount, same as Big Dan, same as Coy. Big Dan has used a lot less fuel than Reno and Coy, so Big Dan's probably using a bit of oh no, he's gone he's gone a little bit too deep. Where's Coy? Coy having to go defensive on the inside to avoid hitting. Big Dan did incredibly well to avoid a small coming together there by Coy, but is Coy going to take advantage of it as we go up the hill, screaming down the long straight? DRS open into the toe. Let's have a look, shall we? As we see tucks in, he isn't able to find the overspeed. He's having a look. Hold on, no, thinks better of it and backs off. Maybe thinking he can get just a little bit more ahead of Big, find a little bit more, just get ahead of Big Dan. So Big Dan lives to fight another day. Mrs. Guesty isn't that far behind him either, so they can't be too cushy with it because they've still got company far behind them. Bazza as well, he's dropped back a little bit. It's probably those medium tyres, and poor Pat all on his Billy Lonesome at the moment, but he's looked after those mediums fairly well so far. So later on in the race we'll have to see if that pays dividends. Although if you keep sliding like that, might not last that much longer, but credit to Pat, he always gives it his best. He's still going to get some juicy points at the end of this regardless. But meanwhile, Jose Alien absolutely run away with it. He's left Guesty now, who's really new. Oh no, they're about even on tyre wear. Jose Alien's used a little bit less fuel, so appears that Jose Alien, oh, he's gone wide a little bit there. I think that's the second time I've seen him go wide through there. He's must be having problems going through that corner. But again, it's quite a decisive little corner. Deceiving, that's the word I'm looking for. It's quite a deceiving corner. Makes you think you can go flat through it, but it turns out you can't sometimes. Also depends on the machinery, I guess. As we can see, Guesty's made up a small smidget of time. As you can see, he's not that far behind him now either. I wonder if Guesty's going to be able to pull the trigger as we go up the hill, up to Lake Combs. Is Guesty going to be able to pull the trigger? Really pushing that Subaru to the absolute limit. Tuxing for the toe. Can't quite gain on Homesick Alien just a little bit. So no, there we go. So Homesick Alien lives to fight for another time. Rito still holding off well. He's going purples at the moment. He's absolutely flooring that Subaru to really see if he can stretch out a gap between himself and Big Dan, who's still got Coy for company. You can see Rito's used up. He's down to a quarter of a tank. Big Dan's still got just over a quarter, so far he's got an advantage over Rito. Of course, they won't know that one, but he's got Coy for company. He's also absolutely flooring it to the limit. He's down to a quarter of a tank as well. He's sliding that Subaru, really pushing it to the absolute limit. He can smell blood. He wants that fourth place from Big Dan, but he's really going to have to fight hard for it, because we know that Big Dan can really put up a defence when he needs to. Coy just going on to the AstroTurf a little bit there, losing a little bit of time to Big Dan, but he could still catch up. He can still make it work for him. Mrs. Guesty still holding well in sixth. She's still finding good pace. She's still keeping them in their sights, so the danger for those guys in front of her isn't quite over with yet. We've still got Bazza in seventh on the mediums, and Pat still all by his lonesome, probably hoping that somebody will pit soon so he can have a playmate. But meanwhile, Jose Alien and Guesty, he has caught up, and there we go. Guesty has taken the lead. Coming up to lap 8, we're just shy of 20 minutes into this race, and Guesty has retaken the lead. He has been in the lead in smidges of time here and there we go. He has taken the lead. What happened to Jose Alien? The 222, so he must have made a small mistake. Whoa! Jose Alien came barreling in like a tank and nearly took out Guesty, who did really well to avoid a collision there. There we go. Rito and Koikarp are going into the pits, so they have pulled the trigger. Now, who's going to be the next to follow them in, I wonder? Bazza and Pat will carry on going. They've still got a bit of fuel left. Guesty and Homesick, my guess is they could be in They could be in any time soon. They're probably going to stretch their fuel tanks to the limit. I think the sauce will last long enough for them to use up the remaining quarter of that tank. It's just got that little bit more, so he might make up the small gap between himself and Guesty in the fuel situation. And the sun's gone down. Have we got clouds coming overhead? The lights have come on, so it's getting dark. Couldn't have had the sun for that long, surely. It must be getting cloudy. So is rain going to drop, I wonder? Well, if the rain comes, that will absolutely open everything up. And there's no telling what could happen. Well, hold on to your coffees, because it's not over and done with just yet. It could be anybody's game at this rate. Big Dan's still holding well in third. Sure, he'll be quite happy with this third. He had the little tactical advantage over Rido. Is he going to make it pay dividends? Mrs. Guesty now holding 14th wherever she is. Nope, there we go. Cameraman has finally decided to catch up. Bazza now in 5th. Pat still now in 6th as well. Rido, they have pitted. They've gone on for the mediums. And Coy's gone intermediates. Well. So, does Coy know something that we don't? Because obviously we can't see. They do have a weather radar. So he must see the rain coming on the radar. And he's gone brave for the intermediates, but he's going to have to hope and pray that the rain comes soon, because those intermediates will start overheating and then start ripping each other up, ripping it apart. Reno was gone for the mediums, so he's confident the rain isn't going to come. And Coy seems to think the rain will come. So, interesting stuff indeed. Guesty. Stuffs are starting to see better days now. They're nearly past their best. The fuel tank's nearly gone. So, he'll be pulling the trigger very soon. Oh, we've got chat. Hello there. Hadley plays 12. I hope I pronounced that right. You'll have to forgive me. I am absolutely rubbish at pronunciations. So if that is Hadley plays, if that is correct, I do hope it's correct. First. Yes, you are first. Although technically Guesty is first, but you are first in the comments. So yes, congratulations. First place trophy for you, sir, in the comments. And I don't think I've ever seen you before either. Well, if you're new to us, welcome. Glad to have you with us. So far, there we go. Guesty's fuel tank now flashing. So, is it going to be this? Is it going to be this lap or the next lap? He pulls the trigger. Homesick Alien's fuel is not flashing, so he just has that little bit more. But so far, it is getting a little bit foggy. Is the rain going to come? Maybe that's what they're holding out for. Maybe stretch the. There we go. Homesick Alien's fuel is now starting to flash. So, are they going to pull the trigger this lap? I wonder. Or are they going to hold out for when the rain comes? They must be waiting. So, must be tantalising. Waiting for that fuel. Is Guesty going to go in? Yes, he does. And so does Homesick Alien now. It's going to be interesting to see what their tyre choices are. Big Dan, his fuel isn't flashing. He's still got a little bit of meat left on those tyres, so he could potentially do another lap. Well, his fuel is flashing now, and there we go. Big Dan chooses to stay out, so Big Dan will take the lead. But the question is, oh, and Mrs. Guesty's also gone in, but her fuel is really, really low. She stretched that to the limit. Yes, I think Big Dan is going to hold out for another lap. It looks like he's got enough fuel to do that. I wonder if he's waiting for the rain to come down as well. Is Bazza going to get through? I think Bazza is going to get fuel. He's going to get through. Does the other guys are still fueling up, and there we go. It says Bazza is now in at second place. The guys still fueling. I wonder if Pat's going to get through, I wonder. No, Pat's not going to get through, but Rito, oh, he is low on fuel, so Pat is now coming in. So Rito's been relieved of having to take on Pat. There we go. Oh, Homesick Alien. Oh, they're nearly off in the same spot. I think Homesick Alien did manage to get out just before Rito, and he did. So Homesick Alien has managed to overtake Guesty in the pits. And as we can see, Guesty's gone for the mediums, and Homesick Alien's gone for the mediums as well. So they're confident the rain is not going to come down. Coy is now pitting as well. Those intermediates absolutely feeling pain. So maybe Koikarp saw on the radar that the rain was coming, but it didn't come down. So Koikarp will have to pit for probably medium tyres, I'm having a guess at. Or he might go back to softs, I don't know. But so far, Big Dan now going into the lead. The fuel, he'll definitely have to pit this lap, that is for sure, because that fuel is not going to last another lap. The question is, I don't think he'll maintain the lead by the end of this. He's not even using DRS. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's Big Dan. Oh, he's fuel saving. As you can see, the revs are very, very low down. So you see, he's lifting and coasting. He probably thinks he's going to run out of fuel. Or just trying to save that tiny little bit more, just to give him a little bit more of an advantage in getting ahead of Rito. And there we go. Big Dan now goes into the pits. Bazza will be following short as well, because his fuel is also running low. There we can see Big Dan, 4% left, really chancing it at the end. But it would be safe to say that Homesick Alien is going to jump ahead of Bazza. I think Big Dan is also going to fall for it. Homesick Alien going wide again. Really struggling with those mediums. Is Guesty having a look on the outside? He saw the mistake from the Alien, but he isn't able to capitalise on it. Oh, Homesick Alien goes a little bit deep there. Oh, is he struggling on these mediums? Guesty's wiggling coming out of the corner, but it looks like Homesick Alien is going to be able to hold on, but Guesty's got the inside as we come through to the first corner, and boom, there we go. Guesty takes the lead again. Wowzers, you can't separate these two. The pits managed to do the work for Homesick Alien, but Homesick Alien couldn't do the work on track. And is that Big Dan being released? He's put half a fuel. He's put half fuel in. Big Dan is surprising everybody. What's he going to come out? He's on the mediums as well, so he's probably getting that. I think mediums might be the mandatory tyre. So he's getting that tyre out of the way with, but he's only fueled up half, so this is going to be a really short stint for him on the mediums. Homesick Alien, he put in less fuel than Guesty, so Homesick Alien must be confident that he's going to be able to use less fuel while racing Guesty. Guesty fueled up all the way, so he's got all the fuel to burn. And so far it's paying dividends at the moment, as he's now taking the lead back from Homesick Alien. But we know how our resident alien is. He's calm, he's cool, he's collected, and he's an executioner of the master strategy. And is it going to work out for him today? I wonder. He'll be sizing him up, waiting for the opportunity to pull the trigger on Guesty, but not going to be able to work this time around. Big Dan as well. So Big Dan has actually jumped Rito in the pits. The short fuel stop has benefited Big Dan, but he's got less fuel than Rito at the moment. So Big Dan, whatever cunning plan that he's managed to think of, he's going to have to work some magic, because that's Guesty, that's Rito having a look on the inside of Big Dan, but I think he redressed, so there might have been a little bit of contact there. But Big Dan, thinking of a cunning strategy straight from Cunning University, has managed to jump Rito, but he's now going to make it work in his favour. Rito's going wide a little bit there. He's looking left, he's looking right. He can't find a way through. Big Big Dan, they both go wide, going through that corner. Rito now having to look on the outside, but it is a bus stop chicane, so... Oh, he tucks back in, and Big Dan now sneaks onto the inside, protecting that. But, oh, there's a little bit of a knock there. A little bit of a knock, but Rito redresses to let Big Dan back through to regain a little bit of lead. Great sportsmanship there from Rito. Fantastic. We love to see that. Meanwhile, further back here, we haven't seen him for a while. There's Mrs. Guesty holding well in 5th, but she's been hounded by Bazza, and it looks like he got a better launch coming out of the chicane. They're going side by side as we come up to the first tight right-handed chicane, and so far Bazza, there we go. Bazza is now in front of Mrs. Guesty, but he's got the soft tyres on as well, so he's going to be going like an absolute bullet. And there's one thing that our Belgian driver knows a thing or two about, it's bullets. So Mrs. Guesty now down to 6th, but I don't think she's going to be complaining too much about that. I think 6th will be a great result for her, really. Koikap down in 7th, the strategy, we could see what was happening. We thought the rain was going to come, but it never did. Pull the intermediates. Rain never came, so that's really hampered Koi's effort. Now onto the medians, probably going to do a nice long stint, perhaps help him get back into this race and take the fight to Bazza. Pat as well, we've not seen much of him as well. He's been at the back for most of this race. He's had a bit of a difficult one, really. He's not really had the best of times in the Subaru. Doing great on the dirt tracks. He was doing absolutely great. There was absolutely no stopping him, but unfortunately that was as good as Pat got. But all credit to him, he still comes, he gives it his best, and really just enjoys himself out there. But meanwhile, Guesty now holding off the lead. He's managed to get a bit of a gap between himself and Homesick Alien. Is this the strategy that Homesick Alien is hoping for? I wonder if he's fuel saving. Let's have a little look. Let's just dive deep. Oh, whoa. Homesick Alien going a little bit deep there. That's probably not part of your strategy there, mate, if you're going to keep going wide there like that. So, Homesick Alien just, he isn't fuel saving. We skipped it a little bit early just then. So, ooh, slides the Subaru around. Beautiful stuff. Absolutely beautiful. As you can see, he's short shifting a tiny bit, so he is saving just that little bit of fuel. Well, at the moment, Guesty's running away with it. So is Guesty going to be able to hold off Homesick Alien and spoil that party and get the last win of this season? The last race of this series as well. Big Dan is still in 3rd. He's managed to hold off Rito for the time being, but what's the fuel situation? Rito has got half a tank of fuel, so he's got way more fuel than Big Dan. Big Dan actually halfway, there's about a 1/3 of a tank, so whatever he's planning, he might want to be having words with Professor Cunning at Cunning University to say, right, what's the plan now, big man? Because Big Dan is struggling, and it's not in his favour either. Maybe Rito might be able to pull off something magical. Pat's going into the pits. This is a bit early for it. He's got plenty of fuel. Tyres barely look used. Does Pat know something we don't? Well, we said that before with Koi when he went on to the intermediates and it didn't work out. But what's this all about? Or has he got a technical problem? Pat's opened up a can of worms. We'll have to investigate that later. But as we can see, Guesty's still running away from Homesick Alien. No, I'm going to have to go back to Pat. I am curious about that. His wipers are on. Is it raining? Is it raining? Oh, Guesty's coming into the pits. So is Homesick Alien. He's clobbered the barrier in the way in. It must be raining. It is. We can see the splashes on the wing mirrors. So it's started to rain. Oh my word, so those can of worms has opened up. Everybody's diving into the pits to put on the intermediates, and Coy is going to be absolutely gutted. He put on the intermediates at the wrong time. We must have seen this coming because we saw him put on the intermediates, but the rain never came. He switched to the dry tyres, and within a few laps it's all started raining. But it stops now. No, it's still going. It's still going. So there is a bit of water on the track now. As we can see, Who's It Alien's been released. Guesty's been released. Rito's about to be released. Oh, is he putting in a bit? He's putting in a bit of fuel. So is Big Dan. I see it now, Big Sir. I see it now. The short fuel stop. Oh, how we didn't see that one coming. So Rito's been released. Big Dan's now being released. Baz is just coming into the pits now. Mrs. Guesty now coming in. Coy's going back round. So Coy, playing the devil's advocate, sticking to the dry tyres. He must be thinking that this wet weather is not going to last long at all. But he's got a fight on his hands. Let's see, he's a fish out of water at the moment, but there's water on the track, so he is a fish in water, but he's also a fish out of water. Oh, what do we do? So there we go. Baz is on the intermediates. Pat is also on the intermediates. Guesty and Homesick Alien, as well as Rito's jumped Big Dan in the pits. So the short fuel stop has not worked in Big Dan's favour. He must have seen the rain coming. So short fuel to get ahead of Rito, but it just hasn't worked out for him. So now Big Dan will have to chase down a podium again. And Coy, he's taken a brave pill. He's taken the biggest brave pill. He's probably wondering if he can take a good advantage of this. Well, they'll have to pit again. As you can see, he's really struggling on the intermediates. But if the rain stops anytime soon and the track starts to dry out, he's going to be absolutely laughing. But it's going to be the amount of time he loses between point A and point B. So Coy will have to keep our eye on him. Bazza on the meantime on the intermediates is really catching up Coy at the speed of light, or speed of bullets even. So it's not going to be long before Bazza overtakes Coy for 5th place, as well as Mrs. Guesty. I think Pat's out of the question for this, as he's struggling with those intermediates. But meanwhile, back at the front, Guesty's leaving Homesick Alien for dead. But so far, it's been light showers. I can't see the rain particularly well. Let's have a look. Well, it stopped raining. Whoa. Wow, Rito decides, I'm going to go rallying a little bit. But rallying isn't going to do you much good at the moment, mate, because Big Dan is absolutely on it like a rash, waiting for a small mistake from Rito. And if he keeps doing that, he's not going to have that podium for very long. So, maybe calm the rallying version, calm the Big Dan of you down. Otherwise, Big Dan's going to have you. You can see Rito protecting the inside line. But, he's having a look on the outside. It's Big Dan, but he just can't find a way through. So Rito's going to have to put up an absolutely flawless defence if he's going to hold off this 3rd place from Big Dan. Let's have a look further back here. As we can see, Koikarp's managing to hold off really well with those medium tyres as well. But here comes the rain again. It's just not working out for poor Coy. He must be absolutely living with himself. It's just not holding out. Bazza is approaching at the speed of warp. It's not going to be long before he overtakes him. Pat's gone in again. What's Pat doing now, I wonder? He was the first to put on the intermediates. Is he going to be the first to put on dry tyres? Pat seems to be the one that's telling us what's going to happen so far. We thought it was Coy, but so far it's Pat. And meanwhile, Guesty is still... He's put a very comfortable gap between himself and Homesick Alien. He doesn't go into the pits. Nor does Homesick Alien, so... I'm not quite sure what Pat's up to, but to be fair, he is last. He's got less to lose. Pat's got nothing to lose. So why not go ballistic? Why not? If it makes things work for him, why not? He's just been lapped by... Is that Big Dan that I saw going through? No, it wasn't. I'm not quite sure who that was going through. Or was it Guesty? Oh, it was Guesty. So then we can see there's Homesick Alien going through as well. Pat's got onto the softs. So he's pulling off a brave move as well by going back onto the dry tyres. But from the look of it, it's not raining anymore. So the track's going to dry out soon. But Pat will have to be very, very delicate on those cold tyres in wet. They're not going to be very happy bunnies. Let's have a look, see how Coy is doing. Coy is doing really well to hold off fifth. And I think he's managed... No, there is Bazza. He's not that far behind him, but the track is starting to dry out. So the intermediates... Oh, it's on that fine line between... What is the correct tyre to use? And we can see on the water indicator it's just below the first bar, which means it's just below intermediate levels, but it's still a little bit high for dry tyres. So we're in unknown territory. It's what works for you the best. So far, the two front runners, they're sticking with those intermediates, which... Personally, I think I would agree with that. I don't think the track looks dry enough for the dry tyres, so I think the wet, the intermediates would be the correct tyre. That's what I would use, but I'm not the best at these tyre decision calls, so don't take my word for it. I wouldn't even say take it with a pinch of salt. I would say take it with the whole bag of salt. When I say that the intermediates is probably the best tyre to be on at the moment, because it could even backfire. We do not know. We're in the unknown, and there we go. Guesty decides he's going to drift round it. Homesick Alien decides that I'm going to remain professional. You want to drift round it? Be my guest, sir. Pat's got it. Oh, that was Reno. Going wide. Oh, wowzers. He's had to scramble back onto the track. Big Dan really struggling to put the power down. He saw the door open for Reno, but he just can't quite make it work for him. Is Reno going to go drifting around this corner? There we go. He puts the handbrake on. Round he goes. And off he goes. Well, all credit to you guys. If you want to do that, be my guest, but it could always backfire for you. Pat's gone in again. Maybe it is too damp for the soft for the dry tyres, as we're going to wait for it. There's no change yet. Oh, there we go. He's put on the mediums. So he's gone for the mediums. He's probably seen how well Coy's doing on the mediums so far, and he's holding off really well. In fact, he's dropped Bazza. He's managed to drop him. So are we now in that window where the dry tyres are going to be the most effective? So far, Coy, he's definitely within pit stop range of Reno. So is Coy going to steal third? We're just shy of 15 minutes left in this race. First and second is pretty much stapled between Guesty and Homesick Alien. It's up to them to decide on which way they want to end it. But third is an unknown. Rito as a contender. We've got Big Dan as a contender. Koi's now thrown his... He's shown his hand into this, and it's definitely a possibility, but the thing is, he's got a fuel. So I think it may have been all for naught, because he's got a pit for fuel, and these guys need to just change tyres. So, on analysis, it would look like that Koi pulled off the right strategy tyre-wise, but fuel-wise, it's not working. Jose Alien's gone in, so he's going to put on the dry tyres and go absolutely ballistic, whereas Guesty has stayed out. He's staying with the intermediates. He's paying the gamble. Well, mind you, they're both paying a gamble at the moment. I think Jose Alien's probably the braver one to go on to the dry tyre, but it's still a little bit damp. There's Rito going in as well. He was struggling to get in there as well. Big Dan carries on, so he's quite happy with the intermediates as it is so far. Koi, I think he's going to have to come in and fuel. Yep, there we go. Into the pits he goes. It's going to be quite wet round there. He manages to get in just fine. Now, what's Bazza going to do? Speaking of the Bazza, he's in the chat, ladies and gents. I'm sure I saw that somewhere. Bear with me. Oh god, the phone's dying. There we go. Yes, it is the Bazza. Good morning, sir. Well, good morning to you too, sir. There you are. Off you go, like the absolute raging rocket that you are. There we go. Is it going to steal fourth? There we go. Koi has gone in. Jose Alien is out. There we go. Racing mediums. So he thinks it's dry enough for the mediums now. The bar indicator is showing that it's only on the curves where there is water, but it is low enough for the dry tyres. As long as he stays away from the curbs, they're going to be absolutely soaked. So Jose Alien will want to stay clear of those. Big Dan's now moved up into second, but it would appear that there is a little bit of standing water here and there on the track. The intermediates aren't going to be very happy with that. So it would look like that Big Dan is going to be dropping in this lap to change those tyres, or watch him make me look like a complete moron and go, nope, I'm sticking with these. I'm going to use every last little bit of tread on these. Where's Guesty in all of this? Guesty surely must pay. He must feel the threat from Jose Alien. But the thing is, has Jose Alien done a fast enough outlap? And there we go. Guesty dives in. He's going to go on to the racing tyre. Well, dry tyre, should I say. They're all on, well, they technically are racing tyres, but there we go. And as Jose Alien managed to pull out a fast enough outlap to jump Guesty, there was a gap between the two of them. So this is going to be Jose going all or nothing, using his medium tyres as much as he can. Big Dan. Is Big Dan going to dive into the pits to change those intermediates? I think it would be safe to say it would be a good idea. And there we go. He dives in. Well, what's Rito going to do? Now, Rito's gone on to the mediums as well. He's just gone up to the straight before the bus stop, and he's got Bazza in front of him as well, who's on the intermediates. I think he's going to be pitting in this lap as well. So is Big Dan going to pull? There we go. Guesty, no. Guesty is just coming out of the pits now. Jose Alien has managed to retake. No, Guesty's still saying that Guesty's in the lead. But he's got to go the long way around. Where is Jose Alien? There he goes. Are they going to meet each other on track? No, they don't. So Jose Alien takes the lead by doing the undercut, going onto the dry tyres first and pulling out an absolutely balmy outlap. And Guesty must be absolutely kicking himself. The overcut just not working for him, and now he's got to do all that work again. But now let's go back to this. So Rito has jumped up to third, so Big Dan didn't quite get all the pace he needed. So it would appear that the undercut works for everybody this time around. And there we go. Big Dan is onto the mediums. There's Bazza. He's putting on a fresh set of dries as well. He just comes straight out. No fuel for the Baz. Koi, you just have to feel for him. You really do. The wrong tyres at the wrong time has really set him back, but he is jumped up to 5th, so he has managed to gain up some ground after all the pit stops he's had, and unfortunately misses... Oh, hang on a second. Oh, Pat's gone. Oh, maybe that's what he pitted early for. Maybe he did have some technical issues, so unfortunately Pat has dropped out of this race. Probably wasn't the happy bunny neither, and maybe the technical issue was just the blessing in disguise for him to just jump in a nice hot shower, go out, have a lovely steak and chips, and call it a day. That's my day done, boys. Grab a beer, I'm done. But so far, Homesick Alien, what can you say about that? Pulls the trigger early, gets the undercut done, and off he goes. And if he does win this, I think it's going to safely say that Homesick Alien is now definitely going to be WRX Challenge Season 6 champion. Guessed it going wide a little bit there. He'll probably be pleased with this second. Oh, easy, Guesty, easy, good sir. You don't want to be throwing away that second place, even though there's quite a comfortable gap between second and Rido. So I don't think it'd have been too much of an issue, but I don't think he'd want to lose the back end either, because he'll want to keep applying the pressure to Homesick Alien. So he's dropped back a little bit there, but maybe he's happy with the second. I don't know. Oh god, I'm getting tired now. This is the long week. It's been a long month. Been a long month. Would you believe so far this month I've literally had 2 days off in the whole month, which is why I've been struggling to get things like this out to you. But it is the start of the week-long hollybobs, which I plan to do as many of these as I can before going back to work. So didn't get anything for a while, but now you're going to get everything coming at you real quick, which I will reveal later on. But so far, Homesick Alien still holding off the lead from Guesty in second. Rido, who we can see in our view now, in third. Big Dan, who we are watching, in fourth, chasing down Rido for that final step of the podium in the final race. And I think it's safe to say that first and second are pretty much locked out by Guesty and Homesick Alien, as we said. Yes, it's going to be up to them which order they want to finish in. But third is the unknown. It's going to be, it looks like it will be between Rido and Big Dan. There was a moment where we thought Coy was going to steal it at the end, but it just didn't play out for him. And I think it's safe to say it just wasn't his day. It wasn't his day with the weather at all. But we'll concentrate on these guys for the time being. In fact, let's go have a look at Coy, who is being hounded by the Baz as he is on the soft. So he's got the compound advantage, but is Baz going to make it work for him? It's definitely nip and tuck between the two of them. So green flags though. Who's gone? Oh no, that's Coy going wide. You don't want to go out there, it'll be wet out there. But is Baz going to be able to take advantage of it? He's considerably chopped the gap in half. Coy's going wide again, and easy does it, chaps. You don't want to be pushing each other off. And yep, there we go. We can see that Bazza dropping back a little bit, just redressing from that small, coming together with Coy. Probably knows that he can catch him up again, and then give it another go. Mrs. Guesty, we've not seen her for a while. She's on the mediums. She's doing quite well, to be fair. She's only just been slightly off the pace. She's had a cracking good race. To say last would be a bit of a harsh statement. A very well earned 7th if it was a bigger field. It's cruel to say that it's last the pace that she's had, really. But meanwhile, let's concentrate on this, because it looks like this is going to be the important scrap. And look at that, we're coming up to just 5 minutes left. So is Big Dan going to be able to find a little bit more pace, just a little bit more, in order to get ahead of Reno and go out in style? But Reno will have something to say about it. He would love a podium in the final race. And it looks like at the moment it is going to go his way. He'll have to work hard for it, though, to keep Big Dan at bay. Guesty as well. Oh, it was so close for him. He was first for a good chunk of laps, and just the undercut working in Homesick Alien's favour. Called it at the right time and really made it work for him. Let's see how these two are doing. Coy as well. Oh, Coy's gone on the inside, and a little bit too deep on the inside there. Bazza just can't quite find the advantage to get ahead of Coy. We'll stick with these two for now. This is 5th place. But it is the closest battle we have on track. Reno and Big Dan going at it for the final step of the podium, but they're not as close to each other as these two are. They're going to have a good old scrap right to the end. There we go, 55-30, 4.5 minutes left before we put these Subarus to bed. It looks like Bazza just can't find a way through the Koi Carp defence. A bit of a wiggle there. Referee really struggled with the back ends of these Subarus all season long. Let's have a quick check with these guys. Still no change. What about with these two? No change either. This is Guesty all by her Billy Bob, but she does have those two close by, so they end up taking each other out. She could be the one that takes advantage of it all. So far, whoa, was that Bazza getting some air there? That looks awesome. It looks like he had all 4 wheels off the ground there. That was awesome. And as we can see, he's really caught up to Coy. He can't quite make it work. Coy goes defensive, making Bazza go around the outside, and there we go. Coy holds off to fight for another day. Wowzers, that was absolutely awesome. If he got air there, that looked absolutely cracking. May have to remember that time slot and see if I can get a good shot of him at the air. So you reckon about 56.20, something like that, around that rate. Whoa, really tight up on the back end there of Coy. He's really pushing that Subaru to its absolute limit. Really fancies a 5th place finish here for Baz. Coy's going to have something to say about that. Let's check with Dan and Reno. No change between those two either, so we'll go back to these two. Like I said, this may be for 5th, but in these championships, every single point will count. And what a way to finish it off with an absolutely glorious battle between veteran of VRC Koi Carp with another veteran of Bazza. Koi has been around a bit longer than Bazza, but Bazza is no slouch. He really can put the pace down when he wants to. They've got several wins between them, many podiums between them as well. They're just about even on pace, really, so it's cracking to see these two going at it in equal machinery. Ooh. There we go. Still no move from Bazza. He just can't find a way through. Oh, he had a look on the inside there, but Bazza broke early, nearly stepped to a crawl, wanting to avoid any form of collision with Coy. So great awareness there from Baz. Giving it everything he's got. He just can't seem to find a way through. You can see Coy going into the inside. He's going defensive. Bazza just can't find a way through. his defence, and Koi's absolute masterclass in defence here, really having to make Bazza work hard for it. It's absolutely glorious racing, absolutely beautiful. Just what you need to start off your week. See some cracking action between these two. Absolutely splendid. So we'll stick with them, is it? I don't think there's any change between Reno and Big Dan. No, but it looks like actually Reno has managed to drop Big Dan a little bit. So third, it looks like, yes, because we're in the final 30 seconds. So Homesick Alien's gotten through, Guesty's gotten through. It looks like Reno just might get through. Big Dan will as well. So it looks like these two could be our first finishers. Or is Big Dan going to prove me wrong? With 10 seconds left. Actually, I don't think he's going to get through. Is Reno going to get through? 5 seconds left. Where is Reno? Oh, there he is. Couldn't keep track of him there. So Reno does get through, but Big Dan does not. He's going to be the first to finish. And there we go. Big Dan coming home in fourth. Koi Carp will come home in fifth, unless Baz has got something to say about it. Koi's wiggling that way and that way. He wants to hold off Bazza on the last stretch. You'd think they were fighting for the win at the rate they were going. Oh, it is absolutely beautiful. But Koi has hauled off the onslaught of Bazza for about 3 laps solid. And Koi comes home to a cracking 5th place. Bazza comes home in 6th. Well done, mate. Cracking job, you two. My hat goes off to you. If I had one. Mrs. Guesty comes home in 7th. Like I said, it's cruel to see that she finished in last. With the pace that she had today has been very commendable. But 7th, we'll say 7th. Is it in 7th? Well done, love. Cracking race. But Homesick Alien, ladies and gents, what can you say about this man? How many series wins is this now, Homesick? You're well into double figures, I know that. Well, you're in the teens, I think. But this is another one where Homesick Alien has come in, given us an absolute masterclass. And it's surely going to be his now. Ladies and gentlemen, your Season 6 WRX Challenge winner, Homesick Alien, who takes the win. Guesty, a hard-fought second. His heart must be absolutely in his throat. He gave it his absolute everything. There you go. He's going to give us a little drift round the corner. But a second place is probably well-deserved. Well done, Guesty. Second. And Reno. Wow, we really didn't know who was going to take that third, but it turns out that Reno is going to be the man to bring it home for the final spot on the podium, and a hard-fought one at that. And we will pause it there. And what can you say, gent? What can you say? Homesick Alien brings home another win. No doubtedly the season champion now, but we will get to the table shortly for the reveal. Guesty coming home in second. It could have been what could have been for Guesty. He wasn't going to win the championship at all, but I'm sure he'd love to go out with a huge bang and take that win, but it just wasn't there for him. Reno coming home in third. He had to fight Big Dan all the way to the end, and he's probably absolutely buzzing from that third, and a cracking fight with Big Dan as well. Again, what could have been? He fought hard. He fought with the strategy. He fought with the car. He gave it absolutely everything, but it just wasn't his day. But I'm sure he'll be happy with the fourth. Koi Carp as well. He's the one that's had to work the hardest. The tyres just didn't work for him. The wrong call at the wrong time. The wrong time for the wrong weather as well, and he's going to be absolutely gutted, but he's done well to recover fifth, and he had to fight for it as well from Bazza, who was absolutely pushing him right to the end. again, to say 6th was the best that he could do, considering he was giving Koikap an absolute fight to the end. But it's a well-fought, hard 6th for that, so he's got to hold up your head high for that one, Bazza. And Mrs. Guesty coming home in 7th. She's been on the pace the entire time, but as soon as the weather came down, that was it. It just took her out of it. But it's going to be a good haul of chunk of points for 7th. So she's got to be happy with that one. But we'll have to get to the all-important final table. This is the one. And in the final table results, and as we said, hang on a second. As we said, it was going to go to this man. There was no question about it. The lead he had is just too big of a buffer to fight back with. So we can officially call it now. There's no more guessing. There's no, it's pretty comfortable, but we don't know what happened. This is a certainty now. Ladies and gentlemen, without a shadow of a doubt, completely confirmed, Homesick Alien Car 77 takes Season 6 WRX Challenge Trophy. So congratulations to Homesick Alien for yet another series win in the bag. In second, who wasn't here today, but managed to hold off second just enough, goes to Skyjacker, car 99. He's on 301 points. That's how much of a gap Homesick Alien had between himself and second place Skyjacker. 93 points. Wow. That is a gap and a half. But that's the Alien for you. You've got to be on your A game to beat him. And it's very rare that we see him on a off season. Right, let's jump out of this. In third, on 283 points, is Big Dan. Big Dan comes home in third. I might be wrong with this, Big Dan, but I think that might be your highest finished position in a season so far. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's quite often I always am. But he takes his first third place. And to be fair, with the talent that we've got on display, we've had Homesick Alien and Sky, we've had Bunny, we've got Guesty, many, many veterans of the WRX, and taking third, that is something to be happy about. So congratulations on the third. Big Dan. In fourth, on 270 points, is the Guesty. So he'll be going home with the fourth place, maybe thinking that he could have done a bit better, maybe. But he comes home in fourth. I've lost the table. There we go. So it's Guesty in fourth. Let's go back to our champion, shall we? And let's see if we can get a really nice, good view there. Actually, yeah, we'll go there so we can see the man himself, so we'll leave it at that. So, in fourth was Guesty on 270 points. In fifth was Bunny on 258 points. In sixth was Rido on 200. No, Bunny got 258 points. Reader was in sixth on 256 points. Just 2 points separating Bunny and Rido. The father-son duo separated by 2 points. Wow. Take that one. Just 2 points. That's probably why Rido will be happy with that third place, but Maybe you could have found some more, we don't know. In 7th, on 253 points, is Koi. That's quite a commendable finishing place for Koi with the talent on display. In 8th, we have Bazza on 221 points. In 9th is Mrs. Guesty on 176 points. In 10th is Anton Poika, still on 166 points. Pat as well stays on 163 points in 11th. Scary Rambo also stays 12th, as is Perchon in 13th. Joker's in 14th. Thingy in 15th. 16th is Kindfoot, and 17th was Norkis. So there we go. Season 6 is a wrap, and there is your champion. Take your helmet off, Homesick Alien, and raise your head high. How many series is that now? I'm going to have a look. I've opened that can of worms and I'm quite curious now, so let us have a look. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16. I'm counting 16 here. So this is/could be your 17th championship. Who on earth can stop the alien? Incredible. And there we go. An end to what has been a cracking season. So I'm going to cut it short because I'm completely knackered and I have got a lot to do before I go away. Mainly tackle the back gun, which I've been putting off for months, and if I put it off any longer, I fear I'm going to get a letter from the BBC asking me if they can film an episode of A Bug's Life back there, so not looking forward to that one. So I'm going to cut it short, and I will leave you to your Monday and enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully I will be on later tonight, where I will probably bring you round 3 of the MTC Championship, and then I might get one done tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and I will see if I can fit another one in before I leave on the Wednesday. And it won't be till the weekend gone when I can get you back with us. So I will leave it at that, in which I will say, if you are new to us and you like what we do, and we like what we bring to the table, and you want to have a piece of this, then I would say go to the website. But unfortunately, there is the website, www.virtualracersclub.co.uk, but as far as I'm aware, it's currently not working. So I would say probably the easiest thing to do is, if you want to see more of us, go on to the Discord and search for Virtual Racers Club. I think there's a link to it in the YouTube. I'm not 100% sure. I might have to get back to you on that one, but you'll be able to see us all there. So I will leave you to that to enjoy the rest of your day. I was your broadcaster and commentator. Insert comical name here. Hit like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to see more for us from the Virtual Racers Club, so you never miss a single bit of us. And hopefully I will catch you all tonight. So with that, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going Betty bye-byes. So ta-ta for now.